wasted a minute talking, and I'm sure it couldn't be heard from the headphones that were in the thing, the phone. But we're in Italy, looking at Naples, at the sun, and how fucking bright it appears. It's usually not that near that bright. It has been on occasion, but I ain't seen it getting brighter like this. Something's getting pretty close. And I feel like it's about that time that the next of the 6 planets from the Planet X system will be passing us by. I do not know how close it's going to get. Could be a direct impact for all I know. But I know it ain't going to be long. After the next one passes, we'll have 4 more. And if we get by them 4, then we'll be good. God forbid it throws us out to space or something. Yeah, anyway. Aside from just looking at this, I felt like I needed to let everybody know about my health situation again, as it stands right now. The other day my blood pressure was 90/50, which is considered low. It's a stroke level usually. The possibility of stroke, heart attack, shit like that. Had 103 beats per minute, which is pretty high. At least it wasn't 120 like it was earlier that day when I took it. Let's see. Oh yeah. It says I have an irregular heartbeat, which I already knew that. The hypokalemia has still got my bowel muscle paralyzed, or a pseudo mechanical obstruction is what they call it. Paralytic ileosis or some shit. So I haven't been able to pass much at all in the past month and 12 days. Really starting to feel like shit. My kidneys aren't hurting like they were, so that's a good sign, but it doesn't mean much really. So I'm still thirsty all the time and dehydrated, and still kind of difficult to piss. Feel weak. The hypokalemia has depleted my potassium so much that either that's cause of what caused me to have my right hand numb from my hand to my elbow for about 10 minutes after I woke up the other day. And then I was having vision problems with my left eye out of the corner of it, or the peripherals, along with having a hard time speaking and thinking and comprehending and shit, which is definitely not like me, since I have an IQ of 174, which is well above average. I'm considered to have an advanced intelligence, honestly. 99.9% of the time, people will have a lesser intelligence IQ score than that. Not that I'm bragging or anything. It's just infinitely rare. Along with goddamn my AB negative blood and green eyes and my name being Alaric. That's some of the rarest combinations on this planet. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about rarity. I'm here to talk about the fact that I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be allowed to do this, and that I'm feeling like shit quite a bit these days. I see it written all over my face when I look in the mirror. Most days I sleep, I don't want to get out of bed. The best I've felt in a long time was here recently when a good friend of mine, who's also the girl I'm in love with, come to me and asked me for help. And I did my best to help her, and I don't know. I brought up something that I wanted to do, and she was not too keen on the idea. I decided to leave. And we argued about it, and now she's pissed off at me. But I love her unconditionally. I can't help the damn way I feel. She could stab me in the chest with a knife, and I'd still love her. Still always be here for her. And the thing that scares me the most, I just want the best for her. and me dying and shit, I'm afraid I'm not gonna be around to be able to give that to her or to protect her or make sure she's okay. There's just so many things I wanted to do before I died that I'm not gonna get to. So many places I want to see, which is the real original reason I started looking at all these web cameras. Because I knew these were all places I was never going to get to see in person. And if I wanted to see the world, I'd better start looking through it somehow. So I lived vicariously through web cameras. Until I found Planet X, and then realized it was a real thing. And the only way I knew for certain that I seen it was I was watching cameras in Italy. And one at Palnario, Italy, the Olivia Villaggia del Gatto, which is a hotel. Anyway, that was the web camera I seen these planets through, and I watched the moon's orbit, the two outer moons on each of the two outer planets on either side of the red giant, or the red iron oxide, brown dwarf, red dwarf, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I watched them orbit. I have tons of pictures. I'm talking about, you can see the dark side of the moon against the planets. You can see the light side of the moon. You can see the moon out separate from the planets. I watched the rotation. That's the only way I know for a fact this shit's really happening. Because sunspots, or whatever they're called, lens flares. Damn, I'm having a hard time thinking. Lens flares do not orbit. Anyway, they shut that camera down after I started bringing it up on Facebook, trying to warn people. They shut that camera down. The laptop I had a bunch of backups on went missing. Started getting blacklisted, I think. The doctors and shit, they won't help me. They give me the minimum help and then send me home to die every time. And every time they do send me home, I do just about die. The last time I went, I had a cranial or cerebral spinal fluid leak. And they told me I didn't have a spinal fluid leak and that I had a sinus infection and fucking a chest cold. When in reality, the doctor I seen right before I left, because the shift changed from the doctor who started initially talking to me, he left. But the guy who came in after him to take up his shift decided to tell me I had early onset emphysema, which I'm very thankful he told me, because I was having breathing issues quite badly. But along with that and the spinal fluid leak, after they sent me home, I had an aneurysm, I guess from the lack of fluid in my brain to protect it. The veins and capillaries started bulging and popping in my fucking skull, and it felt like somebody hit me in the base of the back of the head with a sledgehammer, and I blacked out. But thankfully I woke up from that. And then this last time I went to the hospital, they told me that I had hypokalemia, which is a secondary cause of shit. It's not a primary disease. It's caused by something else usually, unless somebody's severely malnutrition or whatever. But they told me that, and that I was delusional after they insisted to ask me if I want to see a psychiatrist 3 times. The first 2 times I told them no, because I didn't need to see a psychiatrist. I was fine. The third time, after getting annoyed with them asking me 3 times, I said yeah, and they never sent a psychiatrist to talk to me. They also never showed me the damn x-rays that I had asked them to show me 4 or 5 times, because I was interested to see what the fuck inside my chest it was like, since it's been a little while since I get the early onset emphysema diagnosis from my visit to the hospital before that. 2 different hospitals. Anyway, I guess because I had no insurance and I had drugs in my system and anything else, anything they got me blacklisted for or whatever, they just felt like it'd be better if they just ignored me, gave me the bare minimum treatment, and sent me home. But I had hypokalemia, and it wasn't just normal hypokalemia, it was severe, critical hypokalemia. I was on the verge of having a severe event. My muscles were shutting down, perennial neuropathy, all that shit, which is why my stomach's no longer working, cooperating. And if you know anything about potassium, you require that for your body, the neurological systems to function, your cells to have proper voltage. Just like a battery, your cells keep a floating voltage, and without enough potassium and salt, that voltage will drop, and your body can't regenerate properly. So that has led to where I'm at now, which is my kidneys are shutting down, and I feel like shit every day. And every day, I can tell that it's harder and harder to get out of bed. It feels like I'm having it's almost like I'm climbing out of a hole in the ground that's full of quicksand with cinder blocks tied to my feet some days. Just trying to get conscious and wake up. And that's when I know my potassium is getting low again. And I've been taking potassium pills and drinking large amounts of grape juice and trying to keep it up, but the hormones that are secreted by the tumors that are caused by this multiple myeloma that I have, which is a blood cancer that originates in the bone. It's a neoplasmic DNA mutation, which means that the cells in the bone marrow are damaged. The DNA in them is damaged, and they start multiplying randomly, and the body don't know how to handle it, so it starts growing bone lesions. And when I tried to remove one, thinking it was a piece of a fucking poor tooth extraction, that's what spread this all over my body, to my lymph nodes, to my jawbone, all over the place, my liver, probably my fucking colon, which is why it's also helping to work against my goddamn stomach with the whole not being able to digest and pass food through. It's just been a whole fucking mess. And I feel like nobody helps me, nobody cares really, which is okay. Nobody's obligated to, but it just bothers me. The only reason I'm not in a lot of extreme pain is through forced subliminal messages for no pain, both physical and emotional. But it only works so much. But the bone lesion pain got so bad at one point that I couldn't even lay down flat at night, and I was itching all the time because it had gotten to my lymph nodes. And the itching is a response at night because that's when your body's fighting infection, or basically the tumors putting out his histamine or whatever the most in the body, which causes extreme itching, uncurable itch. It feels like it's just all over, head, neck, legs, fucking anywhere those lymph nodes at. It fucking was itching like it was going out of style. It's fucking severely uncomfortable. That on top of poor circulation and not the greatest heart in the world, early onset emphysema and all this other shit. All that shit combined together, and my social life and everything else, being a lack thereof, a social life rather. Just, I'm tired, so fucking tired. But I keep pushing and fighting because I gotta stay alive long enough to help my parents move. I was hoping to stay alive long enough to spend more time with the people I love, as long as possible. This nation we're in is fucked up, and I hate to see them get left behind and me not be able to be here for them, since my parents are elderly, and my brother has his issues going on with what he's dealing with. It really sucks. I want to live forever, but I know I won't. Anyway, this is to vent a little bit, mostly. Seeing as there's nothing else I can do and nobody else I can really talk to, that's kind of the outlet I'm stuck with right now. So, anybody who's listened this far, thank you for watching and listening, and I appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe for more. I don't know how much longer I'll be alive, but as long as I am, until Planet X hits us, I'll be recording and uploading. Anyway, I'm loving you all endlessly. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.